Hello dear students, welcome to another episode of our English lessons for the secondary stage. In this lesson, we are going to have a general revision for the final exams. We are going to see some sample questions and how to answer them. So please make sure to stay with us and we'll start immediately after this short break. Welcome back, dear students. I hope you are ready now to follow this lesson and do some revision for your exams. So, as I said, this lesson is going to be a revision for the fourth period exam, right? So, first we need to know the content of your exam. It's going to be from units 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, both from the student's book and the workbook. In addition to some set book questions based on literature time, especially David Copperfield. Okay. In details, your exam will be something like this. It will contain 7 sections. The first one is on vocabulary, which is marked 60 marks. You have multiple choice questions 5 multiplied by 6, that is 30, and blank filling exercises, that is 5 items multiplied by 6, 30. The total is 60 marks. And then we have grammar, which is out of 40, and you have 2 types of questions, multiple choice questions, 5 items out of 4, and correct and mistakes, 4 items, but in only 2 sentences. That is, each sentence containing 2 mistakes, which you have to correct, and they are all marked out of 5. And then we have functions, you have situations only, that is 5 situations out of 10. And then we have set book questions, which is composed of 2 types. We have 3 productive questions from the student's book and the workbook, and 1 from literature time. 3 questions from the set book and 1 from literature time. Of course, you have the choice of 1 additional item. And then we have writing, which is out of 80 marks. Of course, along with the outline, which is marked out of 8, and the composition out of 72. And then we have the reading comprehension and summary making, which consists of 3 questions, multiple choice questions 5 items, and then WH questions 4 items out of 7.5, and summary making out of 20. And the last section is translation, which is out of 30 marks, that is 20 for the translation from English to Arabic, and from Arabic to English out of 10. Now this will help you to know or to have a general idea about your exam and its components. The total mark is 400. Of course, if you are sure of the answers, you can know how much you can get from the exam. Now let's start and see each section in detail and have examples and sample questions. Now let's start with the vocabulary. First we have the multiple choice questions. From A, B, C, and D you choose the best answer. If, for example, you have this example like this one, most students feel a lot of pressure and before exams. You have to choose between tension, invention, mention, or anticipation. Of course, you need to study the sentence and to find clues that will help you to find the right answer. Now, if you look at the sentence here, we have the word pressure. Pressure and. So which word goes with pressure and? Do we say pressure and tension, or invention, mention, or anticipation? By this time of the year, you should be familiar with all these items and you should know their meanings. So the right answer must be tension. So we say a lot of pressure and tension before exams. Most students experience this sort of feeling before exams. They are very anxious and tensed. So they have or they feel tensed, or they have what we call tension. Next item, it's really when you expect so much and get so little. And you have the choices. So how do you describe the experience of expecting so much and getting so little? Sometimes you expect something big, but you get a small thing. So how do you feel? Do you feel spinning, sprawling, stabilizing, or disappointing? Again, here you have expect so much and get so little. So you feel excellent, disappointing, disappointing. It's not spinning, not sprawling, not stabilizing. Of course, if you don't know the meaning of these words, you won't be able to get the right answer. Okay, let's move to our next example, which says industrialized countries, natural resources in huge quantities. And here you have record, convict, consume, and provoke. Of course, as you know, that each word has what we call collocates, that is, words which go with it. So for example here, record, most of the time we use it with songs, to record a song or a film. And convict, normally we use it with criminals, consume with food or other products, and provoke someone in a fight, for example, to cause him to do a fight. So here we have industrialized countries, natural resources. What do we do with natural resources? Like water, like food. We record, convict, consume, or provoke. Excellent, we consume. So industrialized countries consume natural resources in huge quantities. Next example, it's going to be a tough competition, but I'm prepared for it. And these are our choices: occasionally, mentally, collectively, or adversely. So how are you prepared for this tough competition? Are you occasionally, or mentally, or collectively, or adversely? Of course, your answer must be excellent, mentally. Mentally, I'm mentally prepared for the competition. Next example, the was deeply influenced by the manager's speech. And we have deterrent, symposium, audience, and soundtrack. So from these words, which one is best in this blank? That is someone or some people who were deeply influenced by the manager's speech. Is it the deterrent, symposium, audience, or soundtrack? Of course, it is the audience, because we have a speech. So speech is most of the time delivered in front of an audience. Next example, these documents are very, keep them in a safe place, please. And these are our choices. Make attention here. You have documents first, and we have safe place. Keep them in a safe place. So these documents are to be kept in a safe place because they are digital, nominal, wasteful, or confidential. Excellent. Confidential, that is top secret. No one should know them. That's why we should put them in a safe place. Next example, employers must consider all candidates impartially and without. We have dam, bias, court, and victory. So which one is the best answer here? Candidates, employers must consider all candidates impartially. That is, with reason, without favorism and choosing one over the other because of a certain prejudgment. So the right answer is bias. Excellent. So employers must consider all candidates impartially and without bias. That is, they should consider them all the same. Now let's move to another type of questions. This time it's a blank filling exercise. You have words in a list, and you have sentences with blanks for you to fill in. So if you look at the first one, a healthy diet can blank the risk of heart disease. This type of exercise is a little bit easier than the first one, because if you know the parts of speech, then it will be easier for you to answer this question. If you look at the words, you have inexpensive, which is an adjective, remedy, which is a noun, wholeheartedly, an adverb, inactivity, a noun, congested, an adjective, lesson, a verb. So when you need a verb, you will go and choose from the verbs. If you need a noun, you choose the noun. So this way it will be easier for you. Number one, a healthy diet can the risk of heart disease. So here, after can, we need a verb, excellent. And the verbs we have here, only the word lesson. So you see that it's not difficult. So a healthy diet can lessen the risk of heart disease, that is reduce. Number two, an effective herbal blank for headaches is now available. So we need an effective herbal blank. We need a noun. So from the nouns we have remedy and inactivity. So which one is the best? Excellent. It's a remedy for headaches. That is a medicine which alleviates the pain. And number three, all political parties are in favor of the new law. If you see, if I read the sentence without the blank, it still remains meaningful. It means that we need something which modifies the verb, which is, in this case, an adverb. And the adverbs we have here, we have only one, which is wholeheartedly. So that's the right answer. And number four, computer games promote what? We need a noun. And nouns we have inactivity, the only one which remains. So computer games promote inactivity and make children out of shape. As for number five, it is always crowded here. The streets are often heavily with traffic. And the remaining words are inexpensive and congested, and they are both adjectives. And for this blank, we also need an adjective. So when we talk about roads or streets and cars, we talk about congested, not inexpensive. So that's the right answer. That's excellent. Now let's try this one without much help. What do you think of number one? The manager thanked his team for their and loyalty. Something which goes with loyalty and loyalty. It is dedication. Excellent. How about number two? English is currently enjoying a position all over the world. Your answer must be prominent. Excellent. Number three, the athlete was close to getting himself killed in an attempt to break the world record. That is something dangerous. So which word has this meaning or this notion of danger? It is perilously. Excellent. Number four, governments must smoking in public places. Here, must needs a verb. And where is the verb here? We have either prohibit or kidnap. So it must be prohibit. That is prevent or stop. The suspect wasn't released as there wasn't enough to convict him of the theft. Here we have two remaining words. One is a noun and the other is a verb. And what do we need here? Wasn't enough. We need a noun. So the answer must be evidence. Excellent. You see that if you analyze the sentences, you have more chances to get to the right answer. That was all for the vocabulary section. Now we move to grammar. In grammar, you have two types of exercises, a multiple choice and a correcting mistake exercise. Let's see the multiple choice questions. John gave me a book, blank, had some pages torn. Is it who, which, whose, or where? I think this one is easy. So your answer is a book which. Excellent. Number two, anyone blank has information about the thief should inform the police. So which one is correct? Who, which, whose, or where? Anyone this time is who. Excellent. Next one, has blank seen my keys? Do we say has nobody, or has everywhere, or has anyone, or has nothing? I'm talking about people. I'm asking if anyone has seen my keys. So your answer must be has anyone. Excellent. Next one. They managed to reach the airport in time, blank. The traffic was very heavy. And the choices are so, and, because, although. All these conjunctions have certain meanings. That is, they join sentences when there is a certain type of relationship between the two sentences. Here, they managed to reach the airport in time, and the second sentence, the traffic was very heavy. Here, the two ideas are opposite. So which one is the best transition for the two? It is the word although. So although is the best answer. Not because, not and, nor is it so. Our next question, he was seriously injured in the car crash because he wasn't wearing the seat belt. He should blank it. And you have choices between wear, wore, worn, or have worn. But you need to complete the sentence to see which one is the best. Do we say he should wear, or he should wore, or he should worn, or he should have worn? The first sentence explains the situation. He was seriously injured in the car crash because he wasn't wearing the seatbelt. That's something which happened in the past. And now we just imagining the situation and giving him advice which is too late. So he should have worn it. That's it. He should have worn it. If it would be for the future, then should wear would be the right answer. Should have worn it. Our next question, the photography was excellent, comma, the plot was awful. Again, here we have two opposite ideas. The photography was excellent, but the plot was awful. So which word of these has this meaning of but? Is it nor, either, whereas, or because? Excellent. It's whereas. Whereas the plot was awful. You see that if you have a general idea about the sentences, their relationship, then your choice will be easy. Now we move to something different, that is sentences with mistakes for you to correct. And the mistakes have been identified for you and underlined. All you have to do is to correct these mistakes. So our first sentence says, anti-lock brakes are the example of the later enhancements in car manufacturing. So the is incorrect and later is incorrect. We need to correct them. So anti-lock brakes are the example. Are they the only example or just one of the examples? Just one. So we say a or an. But since we have example here, it starts with a vowel, so it must be an. And the later, here you'll have a look at the definite article the before an adjective. The later. Do we take the comparative or superlative form? It must be superlative, that is the latest. And your answer must be anti-lock brakes are an example of the latest enhancements in car manufacturing. Now, these are the types of mistakes that you will be asked to correct. Another one, she is one of those people which will argue about something. We have the word which is incorrect, and something is also incorrect. So instead of which, you should use who, because we are talking about people. She is one of those people who will argue about something or, yes, about anything. So she is one of those people who will argue about anything. Next exercise. My mother asks me to switch on, which is incorrect, all the lights before go to bed. So instead of on, to switch on and off. We say switch on and off. So since on is incorrect, then off is the right answer. And before go, after before, we need a gerund, that is going. And your answer must be, my mother asked me to switch off all the lights before going to bed. And next example, both my father or my mother wants me to study medicine. Here we have both or. So which word goes with both? Both, so, and. So both my mother and my mother wants. Wants is incorrect. With expressions like this, both my mother and both my father and my mother, they refer to plural, not singular. So we will say, both my father and my mother want me to study medicine. Another one, my elder sister has been studying in London since 4 years. So the mistake is study, and before it we have has been. After has been, the verb must be in the gerund form. That is, it should take an ing. And since 4 years, 4 years is a period of time, so we need for instead of since. So your answer must be, my elder sister has been studying in London for 4 years. Okay, now let's move to something different, which is language functions. In this part of your exam, you are given situations for you to respond meaningfully. So an example would be, your friend wants to play a new computer game. What would you say in this situation? You can give him advice, instructions, whatever, or you can say something like this. Well, let me show you how to play it. First, you need to so and so, then you can, etc. So you are giving him instructions. Another situation, you accidentally damaged your friend's mobile. By accident, you damaged your friend's mobile. So what will you say? Very simply, you will say, I'm sorry, or, oh, I'm really sorry. How can I make up for it? That is, how can I recompensate you for this damage? Another situation, your father refuses to let you stay up late. So what will you say? You try to persuade him, to explain, to give him reasons why you want to stay up late. And you can say something like, please, father, I have nothing to do tomorrow. I need to finish this movie. Another situation, your sister needs your help with her homework. So what do you say? Someone, like your sister or your brother, asks you for help. You can say, of course, or you can refuse, depending on this help that is needed from you. You can say something, don't worry, I will help you complete your assignment. This was the last item in our language function section in your exams. We are going to see the next part, which is set book questions, but this will be the content of our next part of this lesson, which will be immediately after this short break. So please stay with us. Welcome back, dear students, to this second part of our revision for the final exams. Before the break, we stopped at the set book questions, and now we are going to proceed from this section. In set book questions, you are asked to answer some general questions in meaningful sentences. I'm going to show you how you can do this. Now, if we can see our first question, in your opinion, how can TV be beneficial? This is a general question, and we don't want notes or separated words. We need a full sentence. So you can say, for example, it can provide educational programs. It also helps the viewers to understand the world better. It can increase your imagination. And of course, you can add other ideas that you think are beneficial in watching television. Okay? So please, again, make sure to give your answers in meaningful, complete sentences. The next question says, what modern invention do you think is most important? Why? Throughout your lessons, you studied about modern inventions. Now here, you are asked to choose one of these inventions and say why you think it is important. You have different inventions. We can choose one like this. I think the most important invention is vaccination because it protects us from diseases. Medical inventions in general save our lives and cure fatal diseases. Of course, you can talk about the inventions in safety car measures. You can talk about inventions in the field of telecommunication. Any answer is acceptable as far as it is answered in meaningful, comprehensive sentences. Another question says, how can we reduce road accidents? This is a very big question, and you have different ideas to solve the problem of road accidents. A simple answer could be, we can reduce road accidents if we strictly follow the traffic rules. We can also avoid accidents if we improve safety features in cars. Of course, you can have your own ideas. Another question, what role do nature reserves play in maintaining the ecological balance? The role of nature reserves in maintaining the ecological balance. So you can have an example like this. They restore fauna and flora, provide safe haven for many rare species. They can reintroduce wildlife and plants. They protect endangered species. So again, these are only suggested answers. Another question, suggest ways to help protect endangered animals. How can we protect endangered animals? That is, animals who are in the danger of extinction. We can protect them by, for example, there are different ways to protect them. First, we must protect their natural habitat. Second, we must ban hunting them. Finally, we can use media channels to make people aware of their importance in our environment. So these are suggested examples or solutions to protect endangered animals. Next question, in your opinion, what makes a good film? If you noticed, all these questions are taken from different lessons, which means that you have to focus on these lessons and these ideas. You need to be prepared so that the day of the exam, you won't be surprised with one of these answers. So what makes a good film? We can talk about the story. I think the story is what counts most. A film cannot be successful without an impressive story which can attract viewers and increase their suspense. Photography and special effects are also important, but they cannot stand on their own. So, in your opinion, this is, for example, what makes a good film. Now, let's move to another one. What can governments do to reduce the impact of natural disasters on people? By natural disasters, we refer to earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, and things like that that you have seen in your lessons. So how can governments reduce the impact of these disasters? For example, we can say they can warn people when they think a disaster is likely to happen. They can educate people about safety procedures. They can prepare evacuation plans and build large storm cellars for people to hide in. So these are some of the suggested answers for governments to help reduce the impact of natural disasters. And now we move to literature, which is the story you have at the end of your books, which is about David Copperfield. And you have general questions like, for example, we can say one of this. David was obliged to work at an early age. What do you think of child labor? Possible answer to this question could be, I think it should be banned, that is forbidden. Children need to enjoy their childhood, go to school and learn. Child labor is a kind of child abuse because employers exploit them and give them little money. So this is why we should be against child labor. Another question, sorry. David suffered a lot after the death of his parents. In your opinion, why do we need a family? In his life, David suffered because he missed his parents. So what do you think a family means to you? What is the importance of having a family? You can answer this question. For example, everyone needs a family to lead a happy life. We all need families to lead a happy life. Family members, especially parents, provide us with care, security, and affection. Family is the source of happiness. And another question, how should the rich treat the poor? That is, how should rich people treat the poor people? You can answer this way. Helping the poor is one of the teachings of Islam. As Muslims, we should care for the needy. We should sympathize with them and try to help them overcome their difficulties. Just a small reminder here, in such questions, we are not going to ask you about specific details of the story, but your understanding to the general morals of the story. And these questions, I hope, have illustrated the type of questions that you are going to have in your exams. The last question, what does happiness mean to you? This is a very general question, and it's also related to the story, because in the story, happiness differed from a person to another. So according to you, what is happiness? You can say something like, happiness is the joy we feel when we are with family members and dear friends. Happiness is when you benefit from a good health and a peaceful mind. Our next section is writing. In this part of the exam, you are going to be given one of the questions that we have seen earlier, and you have to elaborate on it and write in a planned way. Now, the topics that could be covered in the writing section could be, for example, broadcasting. Write about broadcasting, about TV, about the social media, about the radio, and things like that. Or television watching habits. What do you think of watching habits? What are the good things and the bad things about it? Uses of cameras and how to make films and how to criticize films. Accidents at home or on the road. The planet in danger, like animals which are in danger, and other things that threaten our planet. And the power of nature, like disasters like tornadoes, floods, and things like that. So these could be the topic of your composition. So you need to gather information about each topic so that the day of the exam you will have enough information to talk about any of these items. Now, for today, I have prepared an example about TV. It says, TV has a huge impact on people. It can both inform and entertain us. Plan and write a report of 2 paragraphs, about 14 sentences, that is 160 words, describing the importance of TV. You can make use of the following ideas. You have the role of TV in our lives, the positive and negative effects of TV, how we can benefit from TV. This is a sample composition question. First, you have an introduction, that is the first 2 sentences, what you are required to plan and write a report of 2 paragraphs, 2 main paragraphs, and the number of lines and words, and the topic or the objective of your paragraphs to describe the importance of TV. And you have suggested ideas to include in your paragraphs. So this is the question. The first thing you have to do is to make an outline. But before that, let me show you the rubrics for checking composition. For the exposition of ideas, that is the flow of your ideas, paragraphing and number of sentences, out of 60. The pre-writing the plan, out of 8. The spelling structure, out of 7. Spacing and punctuation, out of 5. And if you write out of the topic, you will get a 0. I hope you won't. So your outline should be We have first introduction, which you can take from the question itself. In this introduction, you can say that TV both informs and entertains viewers. And we have main idea, that is paragraph 1, role of TV, and you have part of our daily life, can't live without it, and source of information. All these in the first paragraph. The second paragraph, that is the one which contains main idea number 2, you talk about positive and negative effects of TV, where you can mention waste of time as a negative effect, but stimulates the mind as a positive one, escape the real world as a negative one, but develop imagination, inactivity, but can help you appreciate values. And the conclusion, where you can talk about how we can benefit from TV, and you say something like setting rules, setting limits, and watching TV with family. This should be your outline, or something which looks like it. For any topic, you need to talk about the introduction, the body one, the body, where you talk about paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and a conclusion. Now, after writing your plan, you need now to develop your sentences, and you write something like this. And you look, for example, first you need to pay attention to the indentation of paragraphs. So here we have how many paragraphs? 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. That is 1 introduction, 1 conclusion, and 2 main paragraphs. You need also to pay attention to the transition words, like although, besides, but, moreover, in this way, and things like that. Okay, so it's up to you to write, but you need to do some training before going to exams. Now let's move to the reading comprehension, where you will be given a reading comprehension text and some questions on it. The reading passage for this lesson is about, as it says, the first paragraph, as summer comes near, many children are really happy to forget about school for a few months. However, they might be taking that goal too seriously. Studies have found that children typically forget between 1 and 3 months' worth of school learning during the summer months. Spelling and math abilities suffer the most, while reading is not really influenced by the time off. The most probable reason for this is that most children read at least occasionally outside of the classroom, whether newspapers, magazines, books, or video game guides. However, their math and spelling skills only get exercised in the school setting. That's paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 says, the original purpose of summer vacations was to let farm children have time off to help work in the fields in the high growing season. But this reason is no longer valid since fewer kids actually work on farms today. Some cities in the United States, such as Los Angeles, have moved to a year-round school calendar, which may help reduce the academic decline that occurs during the long summer vacation. Most cities maintain the normal 9.5-month calendars. To improve skills and to maintain a good level of preparation, superintendents recommend trips to museums, summer camps, vacations with educational components, and visits to libraries to keep kids mentally alert and interested throughout the summer. That's paragraph 2. Paragraph 3 says, there are other educational systems that provide vacations while still keeping students' skill sharp. For example, in Japan, students attend class for 7 weeks consecutively, followed by 2 weeks of vacation. This continues throughout the year. In Italy, students attend class 6 days per week, but finish at 1:30 p.m. each day, so that school does not dominate their life the way it does in America, where students attend high school from 7:45 a.m. until 3 p.m. each weekday. In areas where there are not enough classrooms, in Afghanistan or Somalia, for example, older students attend classes in the morning while the younger kids go to school in the afternoon. That's paragraph 3. And the last one, school administrators and educational specialists fear that the 3-month summer vacation halts the continuity of learning. Just as students become accustomed to new math equations and new concepts in reading, writing, or critical thinking skills, they shut down for an extended period when they go back to school after the long summer vacation. They take up to 2 months to return to their previous level of proficiency. And so the debate continues whether to continue the status quo in terms of vacations or to seek changes based on the Los Angeles or the Japanese models. So we have a text which consists of 4 paragraphs and we have questions. Remember that all your questions are based on the text and of course on your understanding. So question number 1, normally we ask you about a title or a main idea of the text. So a suitable title for this passage could be American students, students all over the world, effects of summer heat on students, or effects of summer holidays on students. The text talks about students, talks about summer, so the last one is the right answer, effects of summer holidays on students. Now question number 2, which skills suffer the most over the summer vacation? Of course, a quick reading of the passage won't allow you to pick up the right answer. So you need to go back quickly and scan the text for this information and find which skills suffer most. Are they math and reading, math and spelling, reading and writing, or history and math? If you go to paragraph 1, you find at the end of the first page, spelling and math abilities suffer the most. So the answer must contain spelling and math. So here, math and spelling is the right answer. Next question, why is reading not so much of a problem? Again, you need to go back to the text and see why reading is not affected so much as math and spelling. So you go to paragraph 1 again, and here you have, while reading is not really influenced by the time, and this is your answer. For this is that most children read at least occasionally. There is no mentioning of parents here. So students read in the summer, their parents read to them, they visit libraries often, they receive reading homework in the summer. The answer must be yes, because they read in the summer and they read different things as mentioned in the text. Next question, the term shut down in the last paragraph means get sick, stop learning, go on vacation, concentrate on their studies. If you go back to the text, that's the word shut down. So the word shut down, does it mean get sick, stop learning, go on vacation, or concentrate on their studies? It must be yes, stop learning. Next question, the underlined word it in the 3rd paragraph refers to, here they help you, they mention the paragraph where the word is taken, and this is the paragraph, and this is the word it underlined, and these are the choices, school, way, life, or America. The word it means or refers to school, or life, or way, or America. If you read the sentence, so that school does not dominate their life the way that it here refers to, of course, school. Excellent. Now next question, which is a WH question this time. What was the original purpose of summer vacations? This is again from the passage, paragraph 2. The original purpose of summer vacation was to let farm children have time off to help work in the fields. So your answer must be taken from this section. The original purpose of summer vacations was to let farm children have time off to help work in the fields in the high growing season. Next question. According to the passage, how can students keep up their skills during summer vacations? Again, it is from the passage. So you go to paragraph 2 and you see the section which talks about this. To improve skills and to maintain a good level of preparation, superintendents recommend trips to museums. So we can have trips to museums, summer camps, vacations with education components, and visits to libraries. And you include all this information in your answer. Okay, next question this time. How long is the school day in America? You need to go to the text. In America, how long is the school day? It starts from 7:45 a.m. and finishes at 3. That makes 7 hours and 15 minutes. Now, another one. What's wrong with the 3-month summer vacation? As usual, we go to the text and find that the 3-month summer vacation halts the continuity of learning. That is, they stop learning. So, and you write this in your answer. It halts or stops the continuity of learning. And now we move to summary, where you have to summarize a specific paragraph. It is paragraph 3. In not less than 4 sentences, summarize paragraph 3, but describing the school calendar in Japan and Italy. You need to describe the school calendar in Japan and Italy as described in paragraph 3. So you go to paragraph 3 and you find the information which talks about Japan and Italy, which is here highlighted. And you should write something like, in Japan, students attend class for 7 weeks consecutively, followed by 2 weeks of vacation. This continues throughout the year. In Italy, students attend class 6 days per week, but finish at 1:30 p.m. each day. This way, school does not dominate their life. And if you notice, I have not mentioned Afghanistan or Somalia as mentioned in the paragraph, because here the question specifies which countries to describe. Only Japan and Italy. So that was for the reading comprehension. Now we move to translation, where you have to translate a paragraph from the text into Arabic, and then a few sentences from Arabic into English. So our first question, with reference to the text, translate the following from paragraph 1 into good Arabic. So this is the part from paragraph 1 which you have to translate into good Arabic. Remember, when translating, you need to pay attention to the language that you use. So a possible translation for this paragraph could be something like, as summer comes near, many children are really happy to forget about school for a few months. Remember, you need to understand the sentence and then formulate it into your own words in the other language. We are not going to translate each word in isolation. However, they might be taken that goal too seriously. Studies have found that children typically forget between 1 and 3 months worth of school learning during the summer months. So the text talks about students get a summer vacation which is long and it makes them forget what they have learned. So in Arabic we can say مع قرب عطلة صيف يشعر العديد من الأطفال بالسعادة كونهم سيتخلفون عن المدرسة لبضعة أشهر، لكنهم قد يأخذون هذا الهدف على محمل الجد، وقد أظهرت الدراسات أن الأطفال عادة ينسون ما بين شهر وشهرين من التعلم الدراسي خلال أشهر الصيف. I hope this does not apply to you, because as the text mentioned, there are students who keep reading while they are still on holidays. And the next part of the translation is to translate from Arabic into English. We have a few sentences here. الهدف من بناء المحميات الطبيعية هو الحفاظ على جمال الطبيعة وحماية الحيوانات النادرة من الانقراض، كما أنها تشجع على المشاركة في حماية وصيانة التراث الطبيعي. These sentences are taken from your textbook and should be translated into English. So we can say, the aim of establishing nature reserves is to maintain the beauty of nature and protect endangered animals from extinction. They also encourage the participation in the protection and maintenance of natural heritage. Dear students, this is the end of your exam questions and also the end of this lesson, which was a training and practice of exam questions that cover all the units that you have been studying throughout this 2 periods. I hope you have benefited from it, and now you are able to answer your exam questions easily and comfortably. Dear students, I wish you good luck and success in your exams. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.